Hello, Internet. Welcome to episode 4 of That Random Podcast Show. That podcast show where we talk about pop culture, which can just be about anything books, movies, television shows, video games, and maybe even hashtags. Is that still a thing? Am I on fleek, as the kids these days say? It's okay. It's okay. I'm like in my.
This is why this is your last episode. You're fired.
I'm not hip enough. How's it going, everybody? I'm Tyler Chancey, your host with the ghost, particularly the ghost of Adam. He's not with us right now. I keep him locked up in a bottle. He'll be fine. I'll let some food in there. And with us, of course, is Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than Adam, apparently. So since you're the host with the whatever you just said,
host with the ghost.
I don't even know what that was supposed to be. Like, I thought you were going for a space ghost, coast to coast kind of thing, but
I do not have a giant Mantis man in the corner. Yeah. That will not work.
I mean, well, you got Adam. I mean, this is a pretty big dude. Yeah, Adam hooked up.
Are you actually advocating that? Are you actually advocating that I take the ghost of Adam, put it back in his body, and make him a Mantis man just to do a space ghost bit? You're sick.
You know, you do that, yes. You let Adam become your giant. No, I say mannequin. I say make him a giant mannequin. Those might be a little more creepy to people.
Great. Congratulations, Michael. You're advocating Auton violence, and I'm not sure how many people out there will get that. But it feels good to be back for episode 4. We are away from the obligatory Halloween episode, but personally for me, Halloween doesn't end until Thanksgiving, so I might still be a little bit... But I'm sure it's fine.
Creaky door or like a witch cat? Like, what was that?
It was a sound of my neck cartilage creaking around because I hung myself long ago.
Okay, man. That's the thing you like to do. I'm not gonna judge. It's okay, man.
It's fun. It's great to freak people out. Watch. I'm sorry.
Sounds like your chair needs to be replaced.
I told myself I wasn't going to go this dark, but speaking of dark or possible future stuff happening, apparently something came out that was kind of a big deal that has something to do with space, I think.
No, wait. No, you said space. Did you meant
space?
No. Actually, we're going to get to... we're not even going to get into BlizzCon because I'm not there, you're not there, so we don't really have a big thing to say about that. But
BlizzCon, the big convention for Blizzard's fantastic, very addictive games. So StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, The Lost Vikings, Heroes of the Storm.
You're missing the big one, Overwatch. It's the only one I care about.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it too, but Overwatch has its hooks in me as well when it's not nickel and diming me for dang skins. Actually, may I have a small rant for a second? Why the heck did you lock off being able to buy the Halloween skins the minute I log on? You stopped the event while I was there. I was trying to buy Cold Heart. I had the money. Blizzard. Darn it, you.
People like you, which I'm guilty of when it first happened. But we've had that discussion before. But you know,
I'm sorry. I'm still a little bit raw though, man, because I didn't get anything from that. Destiny's Festival of the Lost event was terrible. The only online game I was even keeping track of that was actually kind of good for Halloween was freaking GTA Online. They gave you 250 grand on a skull motorcycle. No strings attached. I'm like, son of a gun!
The game's also old. But then again, Rockstar has been pretty good about their online.
Rockstar actually keeps their stuff together, which is weird. It's like, if their lead writer, just did an editing 101 course or something, or pacing 101 course later on, I love Rockstar a lot more than I do right now. But yeah, I guess we'll talk about BlizzCon, I guess.
You know what else needs some help with the story campaign? Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Really, man. I was trying to segue to Infinite Warfare, you went to BlizzCon, then you went back to it. This is exactly why you and I are actually meant for each other. Dang it.
Yes. I have that whole Call of Duty thing going on where I can't keep my story straight. My campaign's a mess.
The numbers mean something, Mason. The numbers mean something. The numbers mean something. The numbers mean something. Credits.
What does it mean? What are these
What's in the
numbers?
What's in the box?
Maybe
Oh
in
wait.
Black Ops 2. No, Black Ops 2 is a completely different story. Okay, cool. But no, we're gonna talk about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare because
Or as I like to call it, Call of Duty Infinite Apathy, because I have legitimately forgot that game even came out yesterday. I I was surprised. I went to a GameStop trying to get a Genesect download code because I'm a child of the '90s, so Pokemon fealty is obligatory. And I looked and I'm like, oh look, the new Call of Duty came out. Yeah, here to pick one up? Nope, that's okay, and I left.
yeah, I used to be one of those people who like really love Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2. To be honest, like my first entry into Call of Duty was Call
Oh,
of
the
Duty 2.
The old World War II Call of Duty, the original.
Yeah, back when they were a
Nice.
little more historic, before they went all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Although Modern Warfare, I love Modern Warfare. I love Modern Warfare 2. 3 was kind of iffy, and that's why I was like, I'm glad it's the last one until Infinite Warfare came out apparently. But
Oh dear me!
I
But
skipped World at War.
I was kind of in the same bandwagon as you. I liked the first Modern Warfare just fine. Like, I liked how pseudo plausible its fiction was when it came to its campaign. I liked how it paced itself really well, and there was a lot of variety there. You know, like, seriously, that stealth mission with the ghillie suits, that still gets my blood pumping each time. That hardcore stealth mission where you go to try to assassinate that guy. You know the mission I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a pretty
And there's
fast
that.
mission.
Yeah, it's a great mission. Modern Warfare 2 went a little action movie heavy with some of its stuff. Like, it felt like it was pushing things a little bit too much, like that stupid no Russian mission. Like, it was shock, but it didn't really feel the whole lot the same. And then, as you kind of said, in Modern Warfare 3, they just kind of went cuckoo banana pants. And then Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Ghosts, I don't care. I came back for Advanced Warfare, but I was spoiled on Titanfall, so I'm like, my god, this feels clunky, and I don't care how good of an actor you are, Kevin Spacey, you are not saving this campaign. Also, press X to pay respects is still one of the dumbest things they have put into their campaigns. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, then you're gonna love Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, as you're
Oh,
pretty much getting.
oh please!
Yeah, you're pretty much getting exactly what you think you're gonna get from Call of Duty.
Please help me experience the campaign firsthand, so I don't have to go out and pay Activision $80 for the Modern Warfare Remastered Special Edition with Infinite Warfare tacked on edition.
You start a mission that's apparently important. I mean, it's not really 100% clear because it just began and you don't know any of the people, you don't know any of the planets. You're just like, hey, these guys are bad guys. All right, cool. Let's go in there and mess some stuff up. But you're technically there to steal / destroy a secret super weapon, and you go through the mission, and it's the same old run in close corridor. Things blow up because self-destruct sequence is going off. And
Look at the explosions.
well, they actually held back in the first mission at least, and you get your super weapon, you get ready to blow it up. It's a mini boss battle thing that feels honestly somehow out of place, weird. There's a 3-minute timer. You go up against this mech robot thing with this new weapon that you just got. And you're just like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know what this weapon does. I don't know if it needs charging, whatever. And so far, it's the only time I've seen that weapon. I haven't finished the campaign, by the way, so it might pop back up.
So what you're trying to tell me is that they tried to be like Titanfall for a second with you fighting a giant robot that they just forgot?
No, not even that. It looked like one of those mechs that you found in like Mass Effect 2. It's just a regular robot. It's just a regular mech, regular person in mech.
So like one step above like a power suit, but like one step below giant robot, kind of in the middle.
Yeah, kind of like a construction bot, like one of those big bots.
Like the power loader from Aliens.
Yeah, I can go that route. Only has
Yeah.
rockets and machine and a mini gun on it.
My God, that sounds so by the numbers.
Oh, it is, and it gets even better. After you beat the robot, there's an explosion inside the facility because self-destruct sequence. You and your team gets blown out into space. You're dying because your air filter or whatever got destroyed. And then the big bad guy comes up and they punch your guys in the face while they're wearing helmets, but whatever. They punch him in the face.
Kit Harington? Is Kit Harington the bad guy?
Is he the guy from Game of Thrones?
Yes, he's Jon Snow, and apparently, even in a video game, he knows nothing, much like the player.
Yeah, he's the big baddie, and he saves you from dying. He's like, pick this guy up. He needs air. I'm like, oh, he's one of those bad guys, and he shows how evil he is by taunting you about caring about one of your men as he shoots one of his guys. I'm like, well, that's just me nothing, and he kills you anyway. So you die in the first mission because it's once again bad guy in your face.
It's your Call of Duty shock moment. Oh, this is the main character? No.
Yeah, it's more like the Call of Duty bad guy in your face, so you get a good look of who he is, kind of thing. It's like, oh, all right, so why'd you let me live?
God.
He kills you. I'm like, okay, well that was a waste of time, but I'm glad they did it that way.
So the entire opening mission is nothing but empty spectacle, and the bad guy revives you just to snidely whiplash around for like a couple of lines, and then shoot you dead anyway. Remember back in the first Modern Warfare where they pulled that stuff in the opening, and they had the character playing as die, and they made it intense and interesting and actually scary? Yep.
Well, the thing is, Modern Warfare, Infinite Warfare seems like it kind of wants to try because this time there's some human characters in there. I know it sounds stupid to say that, but there's some characters in here that you're like, well, yeah, he sounds like somebody I probably know or hang out with. And there's also a robot named Ethan, and oddly enough, Ethan, the voice acting in this game is so horrible. The acting is bad.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yes. Ethan the robot, who sounds human, he doesn't have one of those robotic filters, despite the point that he's a robot.
Okay.
He feels and sounds more alive and human than anybody else in this game.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is painful.
It is. I don't know who they got to act out for Ethan, but that guy should have been the main character because he actually has some life and some energy into the lines he put in. Like when he tells it,
the robot is somehow more human.
oh yeah,
than
yeah,
the human character.
The humans sound more robot. Like there's a section where civilians getting killed and things are blowing around you and airships are coming out of the sky and it almost looks kind of cool. But there's a section where one of your teammates are like, and I'm not joking, this is the way they sound, they're killing civilians. That's horrible. I was like, what? What? That's it? You don't even sound concerned about that. You're like, oh, civilians are dying on a planet that I'm supposed to protect, that you have a whole fleet on? Jeez. Oh no. People are dying around me. Yeah, and it's like that throughout the rest of the game. Again, I haven't finished the campaign, but everybody sounds...
God, this sounds terrible.
Yeah, everybody sounds so lifeless and like they don't care. It's like, oh, it's another Call of Duty. Like even...
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, even the main bad guy, he doesn't really sound like he cares. Like every time he mocks you about how they started a war and how they're gonna finish it and all this.
I'm the hero here. I'm the hero here. The people you're working for, they're the villains because I blah blah blah. Tragic backstory. Blah blah blah.
I honestly haven't got to the part with his backstory.
Watch it be a tragic backstory or something to kind of give the illusion of
it's just
texture
like
or something.
He's not from Earth, and he feels like people from Earth don't belong on his planet and stealing their resources and whatnot. So
you're trying to tell me even in space in the far future where we've hit the final frontier, racism and bigotry is still a thing? Nice job, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Nice job. Congratulations.
Which is believable. Like people like
you've created a future. You've created a future in which we have colonized other worlds, and yet the worst elements of human nature are still front and center stage, and still causing lots of collateral damage, and apparently you don't care. Great job. Great vision of the future.
If anything, that's probably the most realistic pick of the future that this game has.
I'm sorry. Whenever I think of the future, I lack optimism. I've kind of gone burnt out.
It's supposed to be a war game. There's no optimism in that. Why would you want that from a Call of Duty game or a Battlefield game or any shooter? To be honest,
the first Modern Warfare actually had an interesting villainous force he had to deal with, and it was basically a collaboration between the SAS and the United States Armed Forces. It was a unity mission. It was a unity thing. That was kind of awesome in a still burgeoning global stage. That's what made it still kind of fun. I mean, come on, when you take out the bad guy at the end of the campaign, it's the Russians that come in and get your team out while you're still trying to bleed out. That's optimistic. That's solid. That's good stuff. Even if it is horrible warfare that happened, there was some variance. There was some level of difference, some level of levity, some level of humanity to it, and this just sounds token. This sounds
don't
hollow.
Don't expect any of that in this game. Heck, the story is so bland, bad, and cookie cutter that during a mission and the original captain of a ship dies, you go on that ship and all of a sudden you're promoted to captain. You and your friend are both lieutenants, and for some strange reason,
you are captain now.
Yeah, and for some strange reason, you talk to this grunt, not a grunt, but you talk to somebody who's not even an officer. You're like, who's in charge of the ship now? Well, sir. Wait, I'm trying to remember the line here. He's like, well, sir, as the highest ranking officer on deck, you are. It's like, why? There's another lieutenant right there. Why is he? She has no rejection to it. She's like, okay, I don't care, whatever.
I am nowhere near privy to military command as you are, but is there some validity to that?
Now they're Marines. I know some Navy people, and I've worked with Air Force and the like, but I highly doubt they just allow anybody to step on board and take over. There is a system where there are multiple officers around. There's no way that this guy is the only officer around who can take command. There is a ladder, and it's whatever. I was like, okay, well, that's really stupid because you have two officers sitting right there, and this guy who's probably even heard of you, all of a sudden is like, oh, you're in charge, sir. But it becomes a fish. But to give the game credit, like 30 seconds later, somebody who actually has the power to give this guy the position comes in. It's like, you're in charge now, which makes sense because that officer who's in charge knows the lieutenant. He knows the character you're playing, so it makes sense that he would trust you to take over that ship. I'm like, okay, you saved yourself because 5 seconds ago, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And after that, the captain is supposed to stay with the ship, which the game acknowledges, like, hey, the captain's supposed to stay with the ship. No, not you, not Lieutenant Reyes, not Acting Captain Reyes, which, by the way, is the name of the character you play. Reyes is like, all right, let's get boots on the ground. Oh, yeah, well, sir, you have to stay on the ship. Boots on the ground is for other people. It's like, nope, not this captain. This captain goes out in the field. I'm like, no. Yeah, and I'm like, what? No, that's really stupid. There's no way you're going to be captain of a ship and then just leave. Nobody's going to accept that.
Nobody accepts that. Like,
from higher down to the lowest grunt, nobody's going to accept that, and nobody says anything. In fact, another captain of another ship that he's supposed to go on a mission with, is okay with it. She has no rejections to it, even though he made that plan without her knowing. Like, he just drops with all these grunts, and she's like, "Good luck, good hunting." I'm like, you have no issue with this whatsoever. Your partnering ship that's supposed to be on this mission with you has no captain right now. If anything were to happen to that ship, it would be on both. It would be on both of you. Him for leaving and you for knowing that he left and not reporting it, not even trying to be like, hey man, you should really stay on your ship. Nope, you two are pretty much going to get decommissioned and probably jail time because it's war now, so it's probably abandonment, but whatever.
Ah, dear me, this is painful. Like, it sounds like it makes no sense from a procedural standpoint, and it makes some sense from a narrative perspective because you don't want to bog things down with procedure and the like. But even then, it sounds like the context, I'm maybe lacking on it though, it sounds like it's not even under duress. It's like you got to the ship, it's like, oh no, we don't have a captain. Well, I guess I'm captain now. Yeah, okay. Like, that's awful. Like,
it's bad writing and it's rushed writing because it's just a reason to give you power, to make the players feel like they have some kind of power. It's like, okay, I'm in charge of this ship, which means I get to use the captain's log, which I use the captain's log to select missions and look at intel and all that. It's really just an excuse to get the player or reason to have all this gear,
to continue the campaign.
Yeah, to have all this access to all this gear because nobody's gonna say no to a captain. It's like, hey, I need these weapons. But no, who are you?
Okay.
Now it's like, yeah, I need these weapons. Yeah, no problem, sir.
Okay, Captain.
Yep, here you go, sir. So it's just
Dear
it's an
me.
excuse, but it's a bad one. They could have easily kept the original captain alive, and then the captain would be like, "Hey, soldier, some
I'm
officer that
promoting
you
you. I'm promoting you to some sort of like special operations
not even then
thing.
he's
Oversee
already
it.
part of a special operation, and
Then give him a promotion in that special ops. Why even have the special ops if you're
I
just
don't
gonna?
well
Okay, this is.
see, that's the thing. The game doesn't explain what these special ops are. The thing is, it shows that they're badasses. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
these guys are so cool. We let them buy security in front of all these
oh my
people.
gosh.
They have access to all these weapons, which is special forces really will have access to weapons that other people wish they can
Michael,
use.
Michael, this is just maddening me to no end because it sounds like that was a simple vehicle enough to kind of keep the campaign going, and they decided to one-up themselves with that. Because even in other military games, the idea of you being part of a special operations, a special forces division or whatever, is not unheard of. There's the Spartans from Halo. There's the Spectres in Mass Effect. There's darn it. There's so many others. Like seriously, throw a freaking dart at what kind of happens in order to give the players a sense of empowerment. They usually make them part of a special operations group that takes no crap, can do all this different sort of stuff, and it's supposed to make them feel special. This is not a knock against this trope. It's just a standard thing when you want to make the player feel empowered and feel important in a big sprawling universe. Like I mentioned the Spartans, I've mentioned the Spectres. I'm like, why not stick to this in Call of Duty? I mean, they kind of sort of did that with Ghosts, but we don't talk about Ghosts.
Yeah, this was a misstep.
But
But again, it's bad writing in general because it's trying to rush this whole thing that the player is badass. Because the whole time you hear people like talk about how awesome your group is, whatever. Well, not people don't even talk about you. Your partner talks about the perks and how cool you guys are, and
wow,
yeah, people are just there, man. Like,
this is awesome! This is awesome! Wow, this is awesome! I have no baseline for this. I'm just gonna have to take your word for it, though, aren't I? Yeah,
yeah,
this is awesome!
yeah. I mean, and honestly, again, Ethan the robot is the most energetic character there, and
Oh yeah. Wait, sorry. Give me a second. Let me change things a bit. This is amazing. We are truly amazing people right here. Did you see how awesome we
well,
are?
the thing is, in the beginning, it's again, I haven't finished the campaign. It shows some promise as long as Ethan the robot stays around because he was making quips and jokes where when he's first introduced, your friend is like, "So Ethan, you actually have any kind of combat experience?" He's like, "Yep, born to kill, not built, born." He has a conscience. She even asked him if he had feelings. He's like, "Yes, ma'am, I have feelings."
So
And then
okay,
she's like,
okay,
and then,
okay. So we're dealing with once again. This is still
well, the thing
bothering
is,
me.
like, he makes a joke about having the brain of a farmer, and she's like, "Whoa, are you serious?" He's like, "No, no, I'm not." So like, he does it. He does it
No,
better. My impression is awful, but it was funny. I laughed. I chuckled. Like Ethan is the reason this game is actually kind of fun-ish. The story is kind of fun-ish because as long as Ethan is there to actually have lines and not just be another NPC, it's fine. But your human partners are dull, flat, one dimension, and boring.
So on top of all this, we're dealing with a future where space travel is possible. We've learned to terraform planets. We've colonized and have basically found new forms of resources. And if Ethan's anything to go by, we have cracked the nut when it comes to post-singularity intelligence and have put him into active hardware platforms. And yet still, somehow, racism and bigotry and prejudice is the deciding factor that sets off the entire campaign into motion.
Again,
Oh my
again,
goodness!
again, that will probably happen in real life if we ever did. Oh, by the way, they also mastered oh man, jumping. Gosh darn it, I forgot the name of it. Oh man.
So let me guess, some sort of subspace technology, some sort of magic wand
No,
tech to
no,
allow
no,
for
no,
faster
no,
light
no.
travel.
They mastered the ability to warp at light speed. There you go. They mastered light
Oh.
speed travel.
At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if they discovered the forces of chaos in the warp, and we find out this is actually a precursor to the Warhammer 40k universe, because that would be a lot more plausible than the nonsense they're putting through us right now.
If anything,
Yeah.
the only thing that's unbelievable about this Call of Duty game is how bad the characters are and the way that they pulled some
So
stuff
the
out of
ca-
their
so the
rear
campaign
ends. They can't.
so the campaign is soullessly blanded by the numbers so far, with some sparks of promise. How about the
Look, man,
online?
I haven't
Have
played that one yet. I haven't even.
you have
touched.
not gone to the
No,
online
haven't
yet?
touched it. Mainly because
I have zero confidence in it.
Yeah, mainly because I'm addicted to Titanfall, And man,
Yes.
wall running and shooting off
Can,
walls is not
can we
that
just do a
fun.
shout out, by the way?
What?
Just both of us just give a shout out to Respawn Entertainment and to Titanfall 2's work because
Yeah,
wow.
the thing is, well, the whole time I was playing Call of Duty, well, once you unlock the ability in the main campaign to be able to wall run and all that, I was like, man, I really wish these guys would just rip off Titanfall.
Let me guess, it
Just
feels clunky, it feels
no.
off.
The weird thing is, it has no weight. Ironically enough, when you wall run, it doesn't really feel like you're wall running. It has no real weight to it. I know it sounds
Oh.
weird, but like with Titanfall, when you're running off of a wall and jumping off, you kind of feel like you're actually on that wall, jumping off that wall. Like it actually feels, but visually now, it actually feels like you're running off that wall, you're jumping off that wall, you're sliding all over the place. With Infinite Warfare, it's so light, and it feels like you're just sliding across the wall or something.
Well, it sounds a bit better than Advanced Warfare's sort of dash and maneuverability stuff because that felt clunky and stiff and
And yeah,
unbelievably
and I
cumbersome.
think that's what they were trying to fix because it just felt like you were gliding across the wall. And even when you slide, you can't really slide. You have to run a certain distance in order to slide, and even then, it's a short distance. And it does not feel as good as Titanfall. Like with Titanfall, it feels seamless. You just run, slide, get up and run off the wall
We,
without losing momentum. With this, you
yeah,
lose all
Titanfall
momentum.
feels Titanfall feels so perfect with how it gets its maneuverability down right. And this is something that actually bothered me about Call of Duty whenever it tries to sort of innovate. It's always half measures. They always do enough to give you the illusion that they're doing something new, but then you examine it more and you realize it's just chicanery. It's just a skin. It's a facade. You wipe it away immediately. Like it came to me when it came to me trying to play the online for Advanced Warfare. Like I've told you about this before, but I think Advanced Warfare was the signal for me that this series really should just stop. And I don't mean like it should never have existed at all. It actually has done some good things here and there, but I feel as if it needs some time in the oven. It needs some time away and some time to regroup, much like Assassin's Creed is doing this year. Because I remember playing the Advanced Warfare multiplayer, and its netcode was terrible. It was laggy as all get out, and almost anything resembling balance went out the window. Like like here's the thing. I actually know a friend of mine who likes a particular Call of Duty build. It's always been viable throughout every single iteration of the franchise. He likes kind of going Metal Gear with it. He goes OSP. He just has like a simple knife, and he goes for sound suppressor, ghillie suit. He does everything imaginable to make himself easily hide. And then he kills guys with a knife, takes their guns, and kind of on-site procurement, kind of goes Solid Snake with it, and he has a ball with it. So I saw Advanced Warfare, and I'm like, oh hey, look, sound suppressors and the ability and a cloaking device. Hey, there's a stealth element to it. The cloaking device looks terrible. You can clearly see somebody using it from across the map. They don't get that predator shimmer just right, where it's kind of off and you have to kind of look for it. But like it pandered way too much. It's the illusion of variety. It's the illusion of multiple possibilities when in reality all you really should do is just grab the fastest reload speed, fastest rate of fire SMG and just run while hopped up on whatever the heck your poison of choice is. And that's a problem. And frankly, based on what I said last podcast about the Infinite Warfare beta going possibly off the deep end with free to play elements, I think you're not missing a whole lot.
Well, I mean, we'll find out when I actually start playing, if I even start playing this multiplayer. Because, man, I might even not even finish the campaign, which is something because I always finish the Call of Duty campaigns. But I
Mm-hmm.
might actually just, after we're done with this podcast, jump into multiplayer for a little bit. I'm not touching,
Just kind of get your feet wet.
yeah, I'm not touching the zombies. I already know I don't like Call of Duty zombies. Burn me at the stake if you want. But I never cared about the zombie modes. I always thought those were the worst. So I might not even touch that. But so far, the campaign isn't doing it for me. Like everything is blowing up around me, and the only thing I was feeling was like, man, I've seen this all before. Like this is nothing. This is nothing exciting with Call of Duty anymore. Like we see all these cool little set pieces, but really, even when they allow you to take over your spaceship, and actually fly around and shoot stuff. Even that feels half. I was like, man, this. Yeah, it's like, man, do you guys not play any like space games because it feels. Yeah, it's not on the rails, thank goodness. Well, except for one section, but it made sense why. But even then, I was like, I don't really feel like I'm empowered by this. I don't feel like I'm actually in control because it's like, okay, a few seconds. Oh, we get hit by rockets, flares. All right, cool. Throw up a flare. Flares recharging. Flares recharge. A few seconds later, oh wait, you got missiles coming in. It's like you're just waiting for my flares to come back up in order for me. There's no real. I got to use these flares carefully. I got to be able to dodge these rockets whenever.
Hit this button. Hit this button. Now hit this button. Look at you. You're amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it. That's pretty much what it is. It's baby's first space flight shooter, and
it sounds like I get actually more fulfilling space combat out of No Man's Sky at this point. Yeah, I went there, people.
Well, I haven't played No Man's Sky.
I
don't know anything about that.
I actually like the dogfights in No Man's Sky. Yeah, they're basic and rudimentary, but they at least give you some level of volition and sort of skill to it. I mean, there's a problem of scaling and progression with it, but at least there was at least some level of personal intuition and volition you had. This sounds arguably a lot worse than just being on rails. It's there's way too much illusion of choice going around to the point where you can see, the wires, so to speak. Like you're being tunneled, you're being pigeonholed, and they're not even being subtle about it, and that's a big problem. Like most AAA games, most major productions do a good job of hiding that, but it sounds so. What's the word I'm looking for?
Bare bones.
By the numbers.
Well, yeah, by the numbers too.
Yeah, bare bones by the numbers. We need variety. We need to make sure you're not being bored. So let's put you in a spaceship where you can shoot other spaceships for a while.
And mind you, that space battle happens close to the beginning of the game. It's like the second mission or something. It does not take long for them to like just go all out. It's like, all right, yeah. Now before you get to your ship, you gotta take out all these dudes. All right, here's a bird you can take over and mark targets. You don't even have to try. It's like, all right, ready for target. Press up. Look at your target. Press a button.
Oh dear.
Does a gun run. It's like, wow, this takes no real effort at all. And the only reason I died in that mission is because an enemy threw a grenade. Which, by the way, they lob grenades in this game like crazy. It's an infinite number of grenades with the AI this time around. But they tossed a grenade and I was backing up to use my gun run so I could get eyes on the enemy. And out of nowhere, for like a split second, the grenade icon came up to warn you there was a grenade, and it blew up on me. And I was like, oh, I don't really...
So they cook them now, or is it just like a user interface glitch?
Oh, no,
I can't tell half the time
you have to
anymore.
be at a certain distance before the icon pops up. And I didn't reach that distance until it was almost done, and I was backing up.
That's dumb.
Well, the Call of Duty's always been like that. It's always had that icon and whatnot, and if you get too close, it'll warn you. But I'm playing on hard, which is like the second to last hardest difficulty you can get from the beginning.
I usually play on veteran, honestly.
Yeah, I just play hardened, which is like the closest. It's the difficulty before the hardest. So I play hardened, so you can barely take a bullet in this game, which is fine with me.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what Call of Duty goes for nowadays, because it's trying to, I guess, sort of adhere to some level of...
Well, yeah, because...
I'm sorry, I can't finish that sentence.
Well, the thing is, even people...
You're in space! Shooting rockets in space!
The way people play Call of Duty now, they want that same feeling in single player to get online. It's like, you can't take a whole lot of rounds to your face before you die, so people play on harder difficulty. So I'm actually glad Call of Duty is trying... it makes it to the point where it's hard for people who's played Call of Duty for years, but at the same time, it doesn't make it like Halo Legendary difficult.
I feel as though that's a problem, though. Like, it feels almost as if from a design perspective, they're realizing that they're only just now keeping to a particular audience, and they're trying to double down on that to still give some sense of difficulty. Like, this is something that kind of bothers me when it comes to games trying too hard to, I guess, pander to the hardcore crowd.
I wouldn't say they're pandering, because honestly, with all the work that these studios have been putting into the single player now that they're actually somewhat trying, it's good that they try to give people who only play multiplayer a reason to try single player.
I can't say that. Like, Advanced Warfare had some really, really weird problems and some serious issues when it came to players being allowed to do what they want. Like, it was horribly scripted, but at least they were trying to do something kind of interesting with PMCs and Kevin Spacey and the like. But even then, that still adheres to a formula. Like there's still some level of there's a slow paced bit, there's the stealth bit, there's a bit with the one off gimmick, there's a bit with another one off gimmick, there's a vehicle section now, and then there is the big shootout with the bad guy that probably boils down to a quick time event or some nonsense or all with escalating explosions. Like, this is something that I've kind of been saying for a while that I really, really hope eventually I'm allowed to eat my words with, because Call of Duty has just become this really worn out series to me. This is basically my sort of wrapping up thoughts, just based on what you've told me. I really do think it needs some time away from expectations. It needs some time to reflect on what it's doing, because this is one of the most popular franchises in the world right now. They keep outselling themselves with every single installation, and they're putting a bit more effort in terms of lengthening content for a single player campaign and giving the illusion of variety in their multiplayer. And yet, with the exception of the first Modern Warfare, it has almost nothing interesting to say about warfare or the human condition, or even when it comes to what motivates people to war, other than the most basic, simple, played out, go-to tropes when it comes to things I've mentioned for the franchise. It's greed, PMCs. Yeah, Metal Gear beat you to that. Oh, conspiracy nonsense and Manchurian Candidate nonsense. Conspiracy nonsense. Yeah, other games have done that as well. The banks control everything. It's some sort of horrible dystopia. Yeah. We've all heard this all already.
You know, to solve those issues. Sombra from Overwatch.
That's got to be the most terrible segue I've heard in my entire life. But
not true, because Sombra is the kind of character who will steal information and blackmail big banks and other big businesses in order to gain any kind of power. So forget you. It was a good segue. It works. I watched a short, but I don't know who Sombra is. That's how you sound.
Dude, I actually did see the shorts, and I will say I do love Sombra. I like her look, I like her attitude. Like, she boops somebody in the short. She just boop, and I'm like, I like this girl. I like this character.
So, oh man, I'm gonna get flack for this, but I'm scared of Sombra, to be honest.
We're all scared. I mean, come on.
I'm afraid of her because I main Symmetra and Lucio, and I know she's going to be brutal against them. She's going to be able to shut them down. She's going to be a hard counter, and that scares me because
I'm worried as well, because I use Genji a lot and Tracer, so I kind of rely on health packs, and I saw her ability to like basically shut you out of health pickups. So I'm like,
goodness, yeah. And I also saw her EMP ultimate can take out.
No ultimate for you.
Oh man, she could take out Lucio's barrier. It's like, yep. That's gonna be scary.
Lucio's barrier, Bastion's, almost like any ultimate that I think it's Con that blast basically gets disabled temporarily.
Yeah, it looks like she can take out anybody's ultimate, and she can teleport behind you. That's not good. So when she's trying to hack you, she can just teleport behind you and take out your
teleport behind you. That, and we finally have a hero with a cloaking device, and this is coming from experience. I used to main the Spy in Team Fortress 2. I did some insane stuff to mess with people as the Spy, and I'm like, oh dear God, that stuff's coming to Overwatch.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be somewhat hard to find a good counter for her, but I think that's what's going to make this game interesting again, is trying to find a counter for someone who can teleport pretty much at will by lobbing a teleporter grenade. Someone who can hack your ultimates, and depending on the character you make, can block off certain abilities. So it's gonna be, I want to say Mei is going to be again a good counter to her, but we'll see. Like, Mei is so far the only character I can think of, because we don't know if Sombra could do anything to Pharah's jet.
As far as I can tell, it looks like the only real weakness I see is her primary weapon, that SMG. I'm sorry, like it looks like it's going to be kind of a pea shooter, kind of like Tracer's
Which
pistols.
makes sense because you don't want her to be OP. It's like she's not support, but like she seems like a decent
She's a
supportive
much more
character.
aggressive. She's a much more aggressive defense hero,
Yeah,
if that makes any
yeah. It's
sense.
like, oh, somebody's trying to take over a point and everybody spawns their ultimate. She can take it all. She can knock it all out.
Oh yeah,
You need somebody to
she,
play.
she, she she's that perfect clutch, like especially if you're like playing
Oh yeah,
playing
yeah.
payload.
That's what's gonna make her brutal. You don't. You see her on the field. You're gonna question. Should I use my ultimate? Is her ultimate built up?
Wait, what?
It's been
Wait
a
a minute.
while.
Wait a minute. Is she maxed out yet? Do you know?
Exactly,
And
and like people are gonna question because the ultimate is the biggest selling point in the game, and it could be a big game changer. So Sombra, if she takes out anybody's ultimate, that could lead to the other team losing. And it's like
oh yeah.
yeah, she's gonna be a dangerous character. And just like the first time we met Anna, we thought she was going to be a pretty brutal character. Turns out she's just another sniper. But Sombra actually is like she's going to do some damage on the field.
She's a sniper. No. I would actually give Anna a bit more credit. Like she's a sniper, but her support capacity is pretty impressive if you know what you're doing with her. Like I've seen some very creative support that goes on with her. Like she was that special variance you needed with a support class. Sombra is no exception, which once again goes as a big credit to Blizzard's design because when it comes to asymmetric play, when it comes to not only the map design but also the hero design, they have to think through every single facet when it comes to how these characters play and how they interact with the environment and how that is affected. Like, how do you deal with Sombra's maneuverability? Like, does she use a tow cable? Does she float? Does she climb? No, she's got that warp pad grenade thing she's got. Okay, that's good. Also takes some skill. The cloaking device, how reliable is it? Because if one can tell from the trailers, it looks like it's a full blown you can't see her at all cloak. That's interesting. Like, how do they balance that? How do they deal with that? There is so many design hurdles that Blizzard seems to be clearing nonstop, and it's just a testament to how great they are as a studio. Like, that's one thing I really need to get aside, though. Like, as much as I don't like Blizzard, how they deal with what deals with microtransactions in their game, I really do think they are a brilliant studio, and it's pretty obvious because, well, Overwatch is an esport, for goodness sake, and this seems to be a great sort of monkey wrench into the established meta, if I may get a little too inside baseball with that comment.
Nobody plays baseball. But
Hey. Let's be really clear here. We all played baseball when we saw that World Series. Can I just give a big shout out to the Cubs though for that? Because oh my goodness. Yes, we're talking about sports now on a pop culture podcast. You can burn me at the stake of this address here. It's in the description. It's not going to be in the description.
I mean, I'm the one who fills in the description, so it'll be in there. Yep. Too bad you set yourself up. Yeah. I agree with you about the way they design their characters and how they actually have them play into the world. With Sombra's warp pad grenade, her little teleporter grenades, her ability to cloak, which we don't know how long that lasts because like from the
Oh yeah.
trailer it looks really short. They didn't show her in that cloaking very long, so maybe it's just like strategically you can run past everybody, but you have like 2 seconds in order to do it. And I want to know what her cooldowns are because with the
Oh
ability,
yeah, that's going to be a big
yeah, with the
deal.
ability to cloak, like is it going to be like one of those massive 10-second kind of cooldowns, or is it quick
Oh yeah.
because it depletes so quickly that it doesn't matter if she can cloak within 2 seconds?
I'm going to say, based off how much health she has, how much damage her pistol is, it may be a medium level of cooldown, like maybe 5 or 6 seconds. But that's just speculation on my part, depending on how much her base damage and her base defense is in order to balance that out. Because they still want to make her appealing, but they still want to sell her, her selling point, being more of an infiltrator.
Right. Yeah. And you know, I really wish they did show that off. Like, but they don't. We don't even know when Sombra's coming, which I'm okay with because
Blizzard has a lot of goodwill.
yeah. It's like they don't show you anything unless it's close to being ready. So hopefully by the end of this month, early next month, we'll have Sombra as one of the characters.
And we can deliciously lap up all the salt. The
Oh,
delicious,
actually,
delicious salt.
yeah, so salty. Because I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna try and wait till after season 2 is done.
competitive season, definitely.
Yeah, so I can see them waiting until after season 2 is done, so that way they can introduce this new character. Because once you do that, people are just gonna try to pick her so quick, and other people are like, "Oh, why did you put this character in here during the season? Now my seasonal record is ruined because everyone wants to experiment with this character." It was like that with Anna. When Anna first came out before the beginning of season 2, people would
Um,
used to get so salty when you pick Anna.
oh dear me. If I may, going back quickly to Sombra's introduction animation, Infiltration, because this is something that still blows my mind when it comes to Blizzard's material, because their animated shorts are fantastic. It's got to be the most beautifully animated stuff I've seen outside of Pixar, if I'm being honest. And I have to say, Infiltration was a very fun short, just because we got to see things from Talon's perspective. Reaper and Widowmaker going on a mission, and Sombra kind of sort of double crossing him. Like, that's what I kind of liked about the whole thing, because it is just a character showcase. Like, it could have easily just been like Team Fortress 2, like, meet Sombra, what she does. But there was also a bunch of other stuff going down with how the Omnicrisis is going down. We got to see Zarya at the very end with the visuals. And this is something that's still really maddening to me when it comes to Overwatch, because there's a lot of lore and there's a lot of character interaction, a lot of character like history, but we don't have a campaign. We don't have a concrete story. Like, let me be very clear. If Blizzard actually has a thing where they finally introduce a full blown campaign, or at least story beats for every single individual hero, I'm like, oh dear me, I don't care about the microtransactions anymore. Just be gentle with me. Like,
People keep saying that it needs a campaign. To be honest, if Overwatch had a campaign, it probably wouldn't be that good.
It would be
The story,
if
would be good. It'd be
if they did it
interesting.
right. No, here's the thing though. If they had to do it right though, it would take years of development, because it had to be for each individual hero. It had to be bounced around their skill set.
It'll have
It would
to be
have
short.
it would be untenable.
Yeah, each character would have maybe one or two. Well, not one or two, but it'll be short. And even then, the whole point of Overwatch is the class and the team based element. You really want an AI that you have to rely on to
Nope.
time the ultimate right in order to make sure that you stay alive?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
it'll have to be okay, online only story campaign, so that way you can play with others. Because
Because Titanfall 1 was such a good example to follow. Oh dear
I like
God.
Titanfall 1, even when it didn't have campaign. In fact, I felt
No,
Titanfall 2 campaign
no.
was okay.
So you're trying to tell me that through all the chaos of the campaign of Titanfall 1, you were able to understand that during a particular mission when somebody committed a heroic sacrifice, you actually knew what was going on.
I
Don't.
got lucky because by the time that particular mission came around, I had actually had the other story based missions before that, so I knew who that character was, and when it happened, I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, I don't really care about this guy because he didn't really build on me. He didn't build on me, but I knew who it was, so it wasn't like,
You see,
oh, who's this random guy? I was like,
and
that kind of sucks.
there's the problem. This is something I really do think is maddening about the Overwatch heroes. They all are brimming with personality. To do an online campaign with that would just be a horrible disservice to them. So I would say probably the best bet would be kind of go for a vignette kind of thing.
No,
But yeah,
stick with the animations. If I know everyone wants a campaign, but honestly, I think the story for Overwatch works with animation and comics. I really do want Omni Crisis story. I really would like to see before,
oh
during, and
my goodness.
after, but only through animation and comics. Because playing it would be boring, and it would just remind you that this game is no fun by yourself. You really need with other
Actually,
people.
you know what? Having a co-op sort of horde mode go down where you're fighting off against the Omnics, they kind of hinted at with the Junkenstein event and
Which
Halloween. I wouldn't mind that actually. Go for a co-op event
and they ruined that one. The Junkenstein was really kind of lame. I enjoyed it the first couple of times, but it was yep, you get 4 of the characters that you're really not going to care about. You get Soldier 76. I don't like playing the Soldier 76. You get Anna. It's oh well, okay, that's kind of, I don't know why you have a sniper on such a tiny little map. And let's see who else
healing.
did you get? Yeah, why don't you just make Mercy? It would make sense. Which later on, Mercy being part of the boss was it was okay. I understand why Mercy wasn't part of it, but like, man, if you're really gonna do that, just have Mercy. But whatever. And they have Anna as the bad person, but whatever. Anyway, so you get your four little characters you don't care about, including McCree. I like McCree, so McCree was all right. And the map was so tiny. It was only one map, by the way.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm aware.
Yeah, for those who didn't play it, it was only one map, but
it was one map. It was short, but like I said, something maybe with a bit more dedication and thought put it, other than like a one-off Halloween thing, like making it more of a mainstay. I'd be okay with that.
I want more Lucio
but
Ball.
You want more Lucio
man,
Ball.
that move was fun. Yes, I know it was. Oh man, what's that game with Rocket League? I know
Rocket
it's Rocket League, but you know what? It was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I wanted to be part of a playlist. That's what they need to do. They need to come up with a playlist to where when you're done doing competitive and you're done doing quick plays, you can do something goofy and fun, like playing Lucio Ball. Like, that'd be nice.
Private matches, maybe, with Lucio Ball.
Not even private match. Well, yeah, if you and your friends just want to get together and play some Lucio Ball.
Come on,
sure.
quality of life updates have to take that in mind. But actually, speaking a bit of Overwatch as competitive, didn't we kind of hear about the announcement of Overwatch League?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's the Overwatch League coming out. Because Blizzard, I understand why they're doing it. Their games
they smell
big.
money. They smell money. Esports.
Not even just the money. Like, that's the thing. Like, they see how much people really enjoy esports and how Overwatch is now honestly a big part of esports. Like, it took no time.
Across all platforms, Overwatch has like over 20 million registered players. That's a testament how big this thing is.
Right, and like whether you're on console or PC, esports makes sense for Overwatch. Like, nearly from the beginning, Overwatch like had a big place in esports, and with Overwatch League, Blizzard is trying to let people who aren't like pros, who don't have these big contracts and all this other stuff, they're trying to give them a chance to be a part of that, which sounds really cool until you remember that Overwatch can barely get their competitive seasons right.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So,
like the metrics and the algorithms for how they handle things in Season 1, wildly different from Season 2. And even then, they're still trying to balance things for competitive play. Like, I remember nobody touching Zenyatta in Season 1. They had to buff him up for Season 2.
Yeah, now they're giving him Symmetra, because like, they noticed that people only play, including me, who made Symmetra, will only play her for like the first wave, and then during the second part of a fight, you just get rid of her.
Yeah, once that shaky edifice of turrets and environmental maneuverability wears off, you're like, okay, they're through, moving on.
But they're still trying to get competitive correct. They're still trying to get that down pat, and now they're starting an entire league. Now it looks like that it's going to be pretty much community ran, and well, not like we set everything up. It's more like there's tools and there's a league out there for you, and you can compete, and you and your friends can now make your own team and compete by regions. And everybody can be a pro, which is their little tagline. The world needs more hero. The world needs more win. Everybody can be a pro and all this. It's like, okay, it sounds like a good idea, but you guys have to get competitive.
It sounds like a good idea in concept. The problem is practice. The problem is execution. That's always a sticking point with stuff like this.
Right, and I think Blizzard has a good idea, and I think they know what they want to do, but the question is, can they actually do it? Like, how much legs does Overwatch League actually have? Like, how many average Joes are going to take the time to take the time to put together a team, put together a training regiment, practice, go into a league, and still have fun or on a competitive level?
And they get the taste smacked out of their mouth by the team over in South Korea.
Yeah, and that's gonna be another big concern. It's like, well, just how pro are we talking? How are they going to handle certain leagues? Because from season 1 to season 2, they changed how they handle it with their bronze and platinums and whatnot. Like, will League carry over with that? Will League have its own kind of ranking thing? If I play competitive,
I'm honestly scared off. I'm honestly scared off by competitive Overwatch play. Then again, because of what I do, what we do, I really can't dedicate a whole lot of my time to one specific game.
Right.
But it's strange. Like I know there's a wall to get through, but you know, thing that you can say about any game that goes competitive, like you can casually play Street Fighter, but the minute you go into competitive Street Fighter, you like seriously. I played a bit of Street Fighter 4, then I watched competitive Street Fighter 4. It is some mind screwing
Well, yeah,
material
man,
right
because
there.
these people they know.
All the little ins and outs, all the little
Yeah.
glitches,
Well,
all the little frame.
yeah.
They have to do the frame by frame
Yeah, they
stuff.
know the frames of movements. They know hitboxes. It's like, geez, man, you guys really stay up on this.
They know exploits, they know cheese, they know the maps like the back of their hand. It is beautiful to watch like high end play go with it, but even no matter how cool you are, you'll never kind of get to that level because come on, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so much patience one has. You
Well,
know.
I watched some of the Overwatch League pros and Overwatch League, the esports pros, and I really don't like what I see because it's just everybody running around, hopping up and down like bunnies on crack as they're
Bunny
playing.
hop, bunny hop, bunny hop, bunny hop,
Yeah,
bunny hop. This
pl-
makes me go faster.
playing like it's Halo, and it's not that. It's like, hey, okay, if that's your play style, that's whatever. Because when I get shot at, I like to do it too because you have to move unpredictably. But the point is, they do it so constantly. I'm like, man, I don't even want to play this. Not because I'm like, oh, man, these guys are pros. Because like, no, this is kind of annoying. Like, you don't get to see the cool animation of everybody's like particular movement. Like, you can't take in the great animation because everybody's too busy bunny hopping around.
Everybody's trying to find some way to truncate or shorten those animations for maximum effect,
Yeah,
and that's kind of why whenever I think of competitive play, I know it's beautiful in its own right to optimize, but sometimes you just want to see the game play out naturally. Like I know that sounds kind of arty and kind of silly, but it shows just how much competitive play is a totally different
yeah.
mindset.
It detracts from well, detracts what makes the games fun, the art, the characters, the animation, and all that. Because yes, even in competitive, you're still concentrating on winning. But it's
Having said that though, this stuff is for cash prize, and it's still kind of fun
oh
to
yeah,
watch. That level of exploitation. We're not denying that. It's just based on what we do specifically. It's not our place to judge. I'd say.
right. Like again, I've watched the pros. It's fun to watch. It really is. If you never watch pros play Overwatch, give it a shot. It's actually fun to watch. It's great to see these people put together combinations and in the way they're able to like move around with certain characters and whatnot. It's really fun. It's fast paced, even more fast paced than regular Overwatch somehow.
I accidentally joined a friend of mine when he was in a game of competitive, one game of competitive Overwatch, and oh my goodness, I felt like I was a penny in a washing machine. I was
Getting
just
tossed, yeah,
overwhelmed.
getting tossed around.
Oh my gosh, I was destroyed so fast. Like the only like saving grace I had was my buddy was actually a very good Zarya at the time. It's just that my tracer was nowhere near on par.
Oh yeah, Tracer can be kind of hard to play.
Oh yeah, but kind of speaking of different mindsets, a trailer came out recently for a particular DC Comics property that people are kind of saying might actually kind of save the DC cinematic universe. It is another trailer for director Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman
With Gal Gadot. Is that how you say her last
with
name? Gadot? Is it Gadot?
Gadot. I have heard it pronounced
Gadot?
Gal
Hmm.
Gadot.
Yeah. Okay. So you just watched the trailer, right?
Yeah, actually, right before we recorded this, you linked me the new trailer, and I this is something that actually fundamentally bothers me. That's bothered me for a long time when it comes to the Zack Snyder DC Cinematic Universe, because it seems they're trying way too hard to update and change certain origin stories. Like this would bother me about Man of Steel. They got rid of they got rid of so many things that's crucial to Superman's core character, the Kent's upbringing, his formative years, his very concrete and defined moral code that makes him a bastion of hope. Sorry, but the Wonder Woman trailer, it looks like there's actually a change to the origin that I actually think kind of helps with it, honestly, because because what I've seen in the trailer, look like they're keeping it to the original source material. She was an Amazon of Themyscira, Amazon women, warriors, rawr, warrior honor, and then Steve Trevor crashes on Themyscira. He's a war veteran, and they become aware of the world war that's going down, and Diana goes in to help. The thing is, though, is that in the comics, originally it was World War II, and it was basically her fighting Nazis, because it was in the 40s, propaganda, go get 'em, boys, kind of thing. But for the movie, they're going for the Great War, World War One, the enduring cluster of nonsense that still has long-reaching problems in our world to this very day. And I'm actually okay with this update, with this change, if you ask me.
The war to end all wars. Yeah,
That ended nothing, yet changed everything.
yeah, yeah. I'm okay with World War One setting because World War One was very brutal. Yeah,
World War War is nightmare fuel. It is historical nightmare fuel.
it's possibly the worst war to ever happen. The most brutal war.
And if you actually look into the research as to what caused that war to go off, it's actually a very depressing combination of coincidence, pride, and a long-standing issue of so many traditions and cultures just falling apart. Like, empires died over this war.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of cool to see how one woman uses the World War One setting, but so far from what I'm seeing, it looks like any other war movie, only with a superhero put in there.
I mean, I actually kind of got thrilled. There's that scene where she like goes up out of the trenches to no man's land, and she just starts using the bracers to deflect the gunfire as she goes through.
Yeah, yeah. That was pretty awesome. Which looks like a great way that they're going to end the movie, because there's no way that thing is like midway through. It has to be like close to the end. That kind of concerned me that they're showing off the climax already. But so far from what I've seen on the trailer, it looks way better than anything DCS came out with recently. Like, so far, it looks like something that I might actually enjoy. And before anybody hates me for not liking anything DC, I'll have you know, I did like Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel I thought it was a pretty cool origin update, because because they already showed that they were trying to do something new with Superman. So it was kind of cool. So it was nice to see at the time. Batman v Superman happened. Everybody knows how I feel about that. I don't hate it. I was just disappointed by it.
We have to respectfully disagree on this, but I can respect that take.
And with this Wonder Woman, it looks like they're actually putting some personality to their hero. They actually put some personality into their world. Because so far, say what you will about Zack Snyder, I think the guy's a great visionary director. But when it comes
to shots that look beautiful, Zack Snyder has an eye for it.
Oh yeah, but when it comes to like directing people, sorry man, but no, Zack is a terrible director at that. Because
that's something I specified though. This is still director Patty Jenkins' movie.
Right, and that's what I'm getting to. Like, that's what makes this Wonder Woman movie look so much better than the other ones. Because so far the two that we've had were Zack Snyder, and his characters felt flat and lifeless and had no personality. And with this one, it feels like, okay, we're not just going by visuals. We're going by actual characters. We're going to give our characters something to say, something to do. Gotta give them a little bit of personality. And I think that's what's missing from the Zack Snyder's superhero movie so far. And I'm glad that they got somebody completely different to do this one.
It looks like there's a lot of texture work with, particularly when it comes to World War I setting, because we kind of touched on it before. Like, this is something that bothered me fundamentally about Man of Steel. I mentioned where Superman is supposed to be a symbol of hope. He is that guy that keeps you feeling like everything is possible if you just work at it and know there's something good's around the corner. And he compromises some of those fundamental morals imaginable in Man of Steel and becomes this compromised mess of a character that they just double down on Batman v Superman. Batman, for me, has always been a symbol of determination and justice. And what happens in Batman v Superman? He destroys his moral code and he goes around killing people and not giving a darn anymore. and once again fundamentally undermines his character, and he goes off to kill Superman because sort of pseudo justified reasons. Like the fundamental core that's made these characters great and enduring for 70 plus years was destroyed. This is my opinion, Michael. Feel free to disagree. But when it comes to Wonder Woman, the Amazon warrior that has actually killed her rogues gallery, like she has no qualms about killing, and that's part of her character, and that old school warrior mentality of camaraderie and hope, and stand with me, brothers and sisters. Having that being tested by World War One, which was one of the most sociologically emasculating tragedies of the 20th century, there's some texture there. There is some subtext there. That is some powerful stuff that I hope they tap into.
I doubt they will. It looks more of a feminist kind of film, and not because it's a woman directing another woman. It's because with the trailer,
I'm not surprised.
yeah,
I'm not surprised at all.
From what the trailer have shown, it's more like an empowerment, a female empowerment kind of thing. But it doesn't seem like it's going by Ghostbusters feminist kind of way to where it puts down men, because
no,
it seems like
once
everybody
again, though,
there has their reason, has their purpose, and their character
it's funny
has
you brought
something
up
to
that.
actually shine off on.
It's really funny you say that because feminist theory, like seriously, look up the creator of Wonder Woman. Fun trivia fact: he was also the same guy.
The guy who created her because he had like a bondage fetish kind of thing.
Bondage fetish thing. Let's say an open relationship with another woman. Yeah, the guy's a trip. Also, the creator of the phonograph. Like seriously, look up his stuff. Like Wonder Woman coming from a feminist perspective, that does not surprise me at all. And especially considering how the more recent DC Rebirths franchise has actually been reinvigorating Wonder Woman with some very progressive politics recently and progressive thinking recently. No, I am not against that. That is still a core tenet of the third, less spoken of, sadly, part of the DC Holy Trinity.
Oh, no,
So
I
I'm all
agree.
for
I'm glad to
this.
go on that route. Like I'm glad. I'm just glad from what they've shown so far. They're not putting it in your face. Oh, look at this woman. She's so awesome, kind of thing.
Girl power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more like it's part of her deal because she's coming into this world where she doesn't understand that women don't have the same place in the world as men, and it's not like a whole women should uprise kind of thing. It's more like no, I don't understand this. Please explain it to me. She doesn't judge. She didn't.
This is long before the flappers or the suffrage movement. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't even happen until after World War II.
Yeah, and it's great because she's like, she doesn't judge them. She doesn't hate them for it. She's like, no, I don't understand.
It's
Explain
just
this to me.
what an odd culture. Let me observe this and see if I can kind of keep respect their ways while also maintaining my ways. Like that is fine.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm looking forward to in this movie is to see how they balance that out correctly, and of course to see Wonder Woman be Wonder Woman, because honestly, I think Wonder Woman is one of the best. I know I would say she's the best female comic book character ever created. There's not really a whole lot of female characters out there that can say really push things the way that Wonder Woman did.
I'm a bit of a fan in concept with what's been happening with Miss Marvel, now Captain Marvel, in Marvel Comics more recently, and yeah, even Miss Marvel. But yeah, when it comes to female superhero in comics, what do people think of? Wonder Woman. She's the go-to archetype, and I really do hope that they bring that magic to the big screen, because I think we actually talked about this before. Zack Snyder, actually we talked about this before the podcast came out, like Zack Snyder is actually kind of in a weird position right now where a lot of the movies that he set into motion kind of has to kind of run their course because they're kind of rearranging stuff right now. Like I think they have Jeff Johns now as the head of a DC Films division that's still being developed, which by the way, Jeff Johns is a great pick. I love almost everything he's written about these characters. Like Blackest Night's one of my favorite events in DC Comics history before they got rid of it with the New 52, but moving on. But, he seems to be a guy that seems to be a bit more on tack with things. And I think that's actually kind of why you and I are grooving on Wonder Woman, because they're trying their best to distance themselves from the Snyderverse, for lack of a better term, which does bring me to one of the biggest issues I do have with that trailer.
I don't think they're trying to separate it. I think they're trying to show that each of these characters should feel like they have their own thing, which is true, which they should do. Because that's one problem Marvel has. All their characters feel kind of samey. They have this form.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
Man, they do. They have this formula going on. I'll probably get to that when we talk about Doctor Strange. But they have this kind of formula.
Darn it, man! We're not supposed to talk about it. It's supposed to be a surprise, but
What are you talking about? Of course, everybody's probably
there is
expecting that to happen. But
there's one thing that I think you all kind of agreed that was the one thing that took us out of that trailer, which was that really obnoxious guitar riff lick at the very end with the title screen that came up at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, I understand it, but I don't like it because it doesn't sound like something that should be Wonder Woman's theme. It just sounds like something that's still like, yep, Zack Snyder. It sounds like I was like, oh, okay, I don't.
It sounds like
why.
a metal. It sounds like a metal cover of what the theme should be. It doesn't sound like an appropriate official theme.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great way to put it. Somebody's kid brother or kid sister has a band.
Check this out.
Yeah, they know somebody. Their brother or sister works in a studio in a business. And they're like, oh wow, you're doing a Wonder Woman movie. I can make a cool theme song for it. And like they played a riff, and I was like, oh, yeah,
that's perfect. Put it in.
Yeah, let's give it to this poor kid and his band that nobody will ever care about ever.
That's what bothers me as well, because I also because that lick keeps playing, I keep having flashbacks to that Doomsday fight in Batman v Superman, and I slowly but surely go crazy and with rage, like.
It doesn't remind me of that. It just reminds me that, oh man, because I get into it, I'm like, man, this trick looks awesome. And then that happens, like, oh yeah, this is part of it's part of Zack Snyder's world. Oh gosh darn it, never mind.
You killed it.
Yeah, you killed it for me.
It reminded me so much of that Assassin's Creed, that first Assassin's Creed trailer, where hey, this actually looks like it might not be total crap, and then the Kanye West song plays.
It's not that bad. Well, in my opinion, it's not that bad. That was awful, but this is it's just a constant reminder that it's part of Zack Snyder's DC Justice League universe.
The Snyder universe, or as I like to call it, the No Fun Allowed universe.
Well, hopefully he changes that with Justice League, because it looks like they have some forced humor in there, but we'll see.
Oh, but dear me, it's forced. But
you know what's stranger than that?